Fam, I like to think that we've got a pretty good thing going on here, you know? I talk and make the same seven faces, and you guys leave comments in the chat, and that's about it. And it works, right? Like it's good. It's good. But I'm gonna go a little out of the usual, because I want to talk about something, and I do try to stray from talking about people that I personally know, just for transparency's sake, and to be a pretty good dude. Yeah, you know. So hear me out with this one. We need to talk about uh, Ian Kirk Patty Cake, not to be confused with Patty Mayonnaise from Doug, because I do that all the time. Um, Ian is a robot, an author, statistically speaking, not a serial killer. But yeah, here we're going to talk about one of her books. But I do want to preface that Ian is a good friend of mine. So a little bit of bias here. I won't really be talking too much about the quality of the book. I'll leave that up to you guys and girls and whatever else you want to be in this magical world we live in. Ian recently wrote a novel called Boom Boom Boom. And I shouldn't even say recently. This thing was written over. When did I first know about it? I think I first knew about a year ago, possibly longer. When it was sort of in the early rumblings. And the book always had this interesting storyline to it. And we were, as I said, I have a very, very minor role to play here in the creative process in the fact that I knew about it and discussed it with the author while it was being created. And the book's recently been getting a little bit of confusion and a little bit of negativity by people on the internet, which, we all know people on the internet is the shortest measuring stick. And these people seem to have this weird problem, you see. Ian is not only a robot and, innocent until proven guilty, not a serial killer, but she wrote this book and it's about a Ukrainian dude who has a YouTube channel where he makes bombs. I always assumed this was inspired by someone like FPS Russia. That sort of YouTube thing, right? So this guy's sort of going viral for making these little bombs in the middle of his rural Ukrainian town on the Russian border. Um, and he's just an innocent kid having fun with his YouTube channel doing these crazy things. And the whole point of the story is that one day the feds show up, and they're totally not feds, but they're feds. And they sort of trick him into basically starting a war with his bombs between Ukraine and Russia for the Americans. Like it's this big sort of power play thing. And the book's satire. But the problem is this book was written like a year, started being written like it was a glimmer in her eye a year and a half ago. Um, and it was written over the last 12 months and it launched earlier this year, right before the big political event happened. And so it's fallen into this weird trap where there's so many sort of people who are reading it and then comparing it to modern day political events, but also accusing it of sort of making light of that situation. And they're sort of dogpiling on it in a weird way. Um, and it's just frustrating to see because this was a satire. It's meant to be, comedic and a satire on political current world. Well, not current world, but on, this sort of political, what do you want to call it? Like, climate that we're in. And Ian has been cursed with the gift of getting it too close to home. And it's really sad that all these people can't seem to look at a release date of a book that was released like a month before major political event happened and realize that this and that have nothing to do with each other and shouldn't be compared to each other. And so she's unfairly been getting sort of like a negative name for herself for this book by groups of people. And she really didn't do anything wrong. She just wrote a funny book, and it happened to also line up with events that happened shortly after the release of said book. And it's really frustrating to see. And I know personally, and she hasn't asked me to make this video, but I know personally it has gotten to her a little bit. You know, and as any writer would, you know, when you start seeing these reviews come into your book and people keep saying stuff like, you know, you've been shamelessly, you know, not making light of this horrific situation in Europe. And it's just, yeah, I wanted to shed light to that, and ask you fam out there, all you wonderful people, to have a look at the book. It's called Boom Boom Boom. It's by Ian Kirkpatrick. And you know, she's an incredibly talented author. From what I've read of her works, I dig it. Some of it's not for me, but it's always well crafted and with, you know, great characters and a really good sort of narration. And everyone's got a great voice and personality. And she excels in satire. It's what she does. So yeah, and I've read bits of this book. I've sort of skimmed through an advanced copy that I was given, and you know, it's a solid book. And I just feel like she's been unfairly sort of, you know, through events that are totally out of her control, been thrown in this sort of whirlpool. And I just want to do what I can to help her get out of it. So I'm going to leave links to the book down below, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys took a look at it. I'm not saying to buy it or anything like that, although buy it. But, you know, just take a look. If it interests you, you know what to do. You can make choice decisions in your life. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say, because it's been irking me what's been going on about this book. What's meant to be just an innocent bit of fun has turned into something absolutely ridiculous over events completely out of her control. And also check out her YouTube channel. It's great. She does so much writing content. She's really helped me out with my writing, from listening to the things in her videos and even reading the comments. She has a really mature comment section too. And yes, she's a friend of mine, and she's one of the greatest people in the world. But really, I just want to, you know, help do what I can and use my tiny little audience to, you know, help her hopefully climb out of this one, because it's such a crazy, bizarre set of events that nobody really could have predicted unless you're a robot. And I'll leave it there. If you do check it out, you know, maybe leave a comment on one of her videos or something, and, you know, let her know that I sent you there. And more importantly, let her know what you think of the book and send some positive vibes, because this is just insane. And as always, have a nice day, guys. You know, keep being you. I'll see you in the next video.
Hello boomers, my name is Yanananana. In case you didn't know, I'm a YouTuber from Nide, a small town in eastern Ukraine. My family has never really understood what I do in the woods, but all I've ever wanted is to make a better life for us all. Papa always comes home from the mines angry, dirty, and tired. It's a necessary evil to do your job and be in a place that you don't want to be. But I've never wanted to spend my life doing exactly what was necessary of me. Yanni, there's someone here to see you. Americans. Americans? Yeah. Good morning. My name is Tom Cruise. This is my partner Bob Dylan, and we are big fans of your work. You're a couple of boomers. Actually, I'm a Gen Xer, but I digress. We'd like to sponsor you. Sponsor? What does that mean? We'd like to supply you with a couple of things to, help your channel explode. Who is it? Jan Bagan. Good. For a moment, I thought you were one of the Katsap looking for trouble again. What do you mean? They say they're looking for a terrorist. They want to declare war. What point is there to declare war? Human beings are simple creatures. You understand what drives humanity? You understand all human motivation. There's someone out there doing something bigger than your internet videos, and they won't hesitate to use you as a scapegoat. The Russians are begging for a reason to declare us hostile so they can take everything we have. Don't give them that reason, Jan. I should just go home, like Boris said, but I checked the video I posted last night and it has over 500 views. I'm going viral. I don't have a choice. I must produce another video. The jar I'm holding slips out of my sweaty palms. I can't waste any more time and go back for it. I grab my tripod saying sorry, 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 while I keep moving. The jar explodes. I'm deafened by something so loud and powerful, it seems unreal. Jan, did you see that? Where the hell have you been? You mean the explosion? Yes. That was me. You needed to not do this today. You don't understand, Alex. I had to do it. I had to get the views. You're going to get yourself killed, Jan. No. They're looking for a terrorist. And how do you look different than a terrorist? I'm not trying to hurt people. Ignorance of war will not stop bullet from straying into your head.